While many companies are looking forward and figuring out how they're going to integrate new technology and innovation next year, next month, we're looking forward 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And we're also doing it with decades of experience and knowledge of what it takes to build a great city, build an incredible community, and how those technological advances can be embraced within that community setting.
Howard Hughes is a development company, first and foremost. But unlike most developers, we don't just develop buildings here and there, we develop whole communities. We're working off the legacy of visionary founders, George Mitchell and Jim Rouse. They conceived of the city as something better than what was when they were starting out in the late 60s and early 70s. And I think their notions of what makes a community superb is what we try to live every day.
Jim Rouse said it best. What we ought to build is what better meets the needs and yearns of people than what they have today.
Our focus is on creating the best master plan communities in the United States.
Think of us as more of a community builder. Developers buy a plot of land, build a building, maximize the value, sell it, and move on. Community builders like Howard Hughes, we build and we stay.
We're a forever owner. In every one of our communities, we don't build, sell, and leave. We become part of the fabric of the community.
What makes Howard Hughes unique in that we're developing only within communities where we have large land holdings and ability to control supply differentiates us, gives us a meaningful competitive advantage. The benefit of having this diverse portfolio from Maryland to Hawaii is that as market demands shift, it allows us to be very flexible in how we allocate our capital such that we're always developing at the highest risk-adjusted returns, creating the most value for our shareholders.
Most other developers have to sell each community they develop in order to fund the next development. Instead, we're able to own each of these strategic developments long-term and use the cash flow produced from these assets to fund future developments. That makes us very unique in our ability to create tremendous compounding long-term value.
We have tens of thousands of undeveloped acres, both residential and commercial, that we'll be building on for decades to come. We don't need that next great master plan into our portfolio to be successful. We just need to execute on the acres that we have, unlocking the value in the undeveloped commercial acres into great income-producing assets that will generate recurring cash flow for decades ahead.
The last 10 to 20 years, it was assumed if you graduated from college, you were going to go to a gateway city. That's where the jobs were, that's where the tech was, that's where the culture was. I think it's all changing. Young people are having families, and they don't necessarily need to be in a gateway city in order to be productive and have a rich and full life. And as they start to think about where they want to have that life, they come to Howard Hughes communities.
Columbia is situated in between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, but it's its own true city. There's 16,000 acres. It's the original master plan community, and we're responsible for filling out the downtown. We're building the urban center for this entire community. The downtown Columbia plan was established over a decade ago, so we're well on our way through that, but it's a 30-year plan. We have offices and apartments and retail. We can bring all those together in a really unique way.
Here in the Houston region, we have the Woodlands and Bridgeland. The Woodlands is approximately 28,000 acres. It is located 25 miles north of downtown Houston. The Woodlands is now celebrating its 50th year in 2024 and is home to over 120,000 residents. It's been named the #1 place to live in America several times, and is also a great place to have a business, short commutes, and provide a great quality of life. We have a significant operating portfolio here in the Woodlands, made up of Class A office, multifamily, and retail centers, and we continue to deliver new projects all the time. Bridgeland is located on the northwest side of Houston, right in the path of growth, and makes up 11,500 acres. This year, we were named the #1 master plan community in the country by the National Association of Home Builders. We expect 70,000 residents at total build-out in Bridgeland. And we're just at the tip of the iceberg of the commercial offerings that we're bringing as well. You're seeing some of those projects break ground now, but you're going to see those projects continue for decades to come.
Summerlin, which is a 22,500 acre master plan community located in Las Vegas, 15 minutes from the Strip and adjacent to the natural landscape of Red Rock Canyon. With more than 3 decades of planning and design completed, Summerlin consistently ranks as one of the top-selling communities in the country. The quality of life that you can experience when you come into Summerlin is meaningfully different. Great connectivity in nature, a trail system that is second to none, quality of education that we don't think exists in many other small cities or big cities in America.
From a commercial perspective, we have an incredible portfolio, the majority of which is in downtown Summerlin, our 400-acre mixed-use urban core, where we have Class A office, premier multifamily developments, and a vibrant, walkable retail, dining, and entertainment center.
We're located on the south shore of Oahu, and it's this incredible opportunity of 60 acres along the coast, complemented by really being in the center of Honolulu. Honolulu has so many incredible aspects to it, whether it's our beaches, our shopping, our restaurants, our culture. And the way we view Ward Village is how can we bring together all these positive attributes in a coherent way? We have a chance to deliver really a high-rise format of mixed use and do that in a sequence that integrates the streetscapes, the parks, the retail, the shopping, the restaurants at a scale that is really unprecedented. And that's a lot of what Howard Hughes does, is trying to make the sum of the parts more valuable and more exciting than just the individual pieces.
In Arizona, our latest acquisition, 37,000 acres just west of the White Tank Mountains, just north of the I-10 and the site of the future I-11 that will connect Las Vegas to Phoenix. What's really exciting about Terra Vallis is that it's truly a blank canvas. Today, we have population zero. An incredible rich desert flora is all that exists across the 37,000 acres, and it's an amazing blank canvas where we're developing what it will be like to live in the city of tomorrow, the city of the future. We're laying incredible amounts of fiber to meet the telecommunication needs of this community. Water, sewer, power, infrastructure. Think of us as a community builder.
We build communities where people want to live, where people want to work, where people want to grow their families and live for generations.
Within a master plan community, Howard Hughes has a meaningful competitive advantage in that we are the largest owner of Class A office and multifamily space and the dominant owner of the undeveloped land. That gives us the ability to build just to meet demand, never overflooding the market with too much product. It protects us through all market cycles such that we're able to outperform in good times and in downturns.
We can make the mix right. So if we do residential, we can look at all the different price points that need to be covered, all the different stages of life. We can look at office, retail, entertainment, medical, educational, and all of it can be calibrated for where demand is.
So because we have essentially no competition within our master plan communities, we're able to develop our operating assets at a greater rate than exists in the overall metropolitan area. Even as we do this, our occupancies remain high and our rental rates increase, and that allows us to get to the point of self-funding more quickly than would otherwise be possible.
Our first competitive advantage revolves around our ability to self-fund our business plan. We're able to use the free cash flow from rent collection, land sales, and condo sales to fund all the equity requirements into the developments that improve our communities.
This is a perfect virtuous cycle in business, where your overhead is taken care of and everything else is just growth.
The second is the cycle of value creation, where as we improve our communities, our remaining land is worth more. In fact, today, our land is worth more, even though we have much less of it after having sold it to home builders, than it was 3, 4, or even 5 years ago.
The value increases year after year after year as we develop more, as we bring more amenities, as we bring different types of asset classes, whether it's commercial, retail, office, condo. These all, as a group, become a ecosystem that feed on each other and actually convey value on each other so that the value over time continues to grow.
Our residents benefit, their home values go up, but we benefit because our land values go up. It incentivizes us and aligns us with our residents perfectly so that we're always trying to build that which will create the greatest amount of long-term value for our communities and our shareholders.
Howard Hughes is very long-term oriented. I'm really impressed by the work the company is doing for the environment.
Teravalis will be a community where we will bring to bear everything that we have learned in conservation. This isn't the desert. We've learned a lot from Summerlin, being right outside of Las Vegas, where also conservation is paramount. We have to take everything that we've learned and deploy it in Teravalis and even build on it, because water conservation is going to be very important.
In Summerlin, we were the first community in Southern Nevada to implement strict water conservation guidelines, which have resulted in absolute water consumption remaining unchanged since 2018, despite incredible growth throughout Summerlin. That new growth included over 7,300 homes, 500,000 square feet of office space, and the AAA baseball stadium for the Las Vegas Aviators.
I think in any urban setting, but especially in Hawaii, you want to integrate nature into your day-to-day lifestyle. I think the planting, landscaping, and streetscape and open space relief that a master plan community provides acts as one of the biggest differentiators you can have.
James Rouse, one of his key phrases that we love is a city in a garden. So it really kind of cemented that idea of having a city, but also kind of within a natural landscape.
In the Woodlands, we have approximately 35% of the community dedicated to permanent green space. Permanent green trails, pathways, parks for our residents and guests to enjoy, and differentiates our community from really anywhere else. You'll see us continue to bring new and great amenities, new innovations, ways of thinking, and changes of the way people live and work to these communities over time.
The idea of the master plan communities as laboratories, as places of innovation, where again, you can take an idea from one place to another, but you also are doing it because you've seen the implication of that idea play out in real time. So you can modify the idea and continue to perfect it, not only in one MPC, but in others.
Innovation is something that permeates everything we do at Howard Hughes. It's hard to think where technology is going to be not even 10 years from now, 10 months from now, at the pace that it's evolving. But we have to try to future-proof as much as we can. So we apply innovation in master planning. We apply innovation in construction materials. We apply innovation in the way we build roads and parks.
We like to be on the leading edge, and so we develop innovative projects that are always based upon our experience. We like to push the envelope, but we're always pushing it within a way in which we know it can be accomplished.
You think about innovation, particularly in real estate development, it can be tech. But a lot of times too, it's usage, it's product typologies, it's what you put where. And so really trying to be creative about that. Where does this community want us to keep going with this product?
We're in a unique position to constantly be learning and iterating from our prior projects. As we're experiencing something or a deal that may be under construction today, we're deploying those lessons learned into the future planning and design.
These are long-term commitments. So when people think about bringing their companies to Howard Hughes communities, or whether people deciding to move their families to a Howard Hughes community, they know that they have a partner that was going to be there with them all along the way.
What gets me excited every day is how we can change the landscape of what the city of tomorrow is, how we can unlock the value every single day in our commercial acres with thoughtful developments that generate meaningful value creation for our shareholders and strong cash flow for decades to come.
The Woodlands has significant acreage remaining for future commercial development. We have plenty of room for companies to bring their headquarters here and for other commercial amenities to meet the demands of our residents. Future development opportunities in Bridgeland are really endless, and the commercial is just now starting. We have a downtown area that's 925 acres planned for Bridgeland. So you're going to see growth in Bridgeland over the next 2 decades.
Here in Columbia, from an investment perspective, I think that the foundation really has been set, what already exists today. It's important for us to make sure that we're not just repeating the same product we've done to date, but trying to innovate, trying to push, make sure that we're delivering the best product, to meet the demands. And it might be housing for more seniors. It might be housing that is a little bit elevated from a luxury standpoint, and really trying to make sure that we're kind of meeting that whole spectrum of housing demand.
In Summerlin, we have thousands of undeveloped acres, both residential and commercial. We still have so much more work ahead of us,
From a residential perspective, we'll soon begin developing the acreage on the mountainside, where the views of the Red Rocks and the Strip get better and better as we go higher and higher. And this land becomes more and more valuable over time. For additional office, multifamily, retail, entertainment, really whatever the market demands, we're going to build to meet that demand. We're also planning a variety of developments in the South and the West, including what we will expect world-class production facility for movies and television in partnership with Sony Productions. Ultimately, there's about 20 years of development remaining, and when we're complete, we expect Summerlin to be home to more than 200,000 residents, all of which will be enjoying the outstanding quality of life that makes it one of the most sought-after communities in the country.
In Hawaii, one of our exciting projects includes the planning of a full block in the premier location within our master plan. And it includes 2 projects, one named Melia and one named Ilima. The latter is actually a partnership with Discovery Land Company, and we're doing this all with Robert Stern architecture and bringing together their classical style and rooting it within our regional aesthetic.
In Arizona, we're going to welcome over the next 30, 40, or 50 years, 300,000 residents, 55 million square feet of commercial space. And we're going to do that in a thoughtful, methodical manner. It's so exciting to be able to craft and mold the clay into what we think is going to be the ideal place to live. We won't be welcoming residents for a couple years, but we have seen incredible demand that at this stage of an early master plan is really unparalleled. Not just in terms of residential demand from builders looking for homes, but on the commercial side. I think the opportunity for rapid growth here is tremendous.
When you think about some of your favorite communities throughout the country, the ones that really are your favorites are the ones that have enduring value. And the reason why they have enduring value is they constantly reinvent themselves, maintain themselves. That richness is always being refreshed. What are people's needs? What can we do to make their lives better? That's the ultimate success. If their life is better, our community's richer.
What's Howard Hughes in 5 years, 10 years? What will we be? I'm not sure what we're going to build or what we're going to do to improve our communities. I just know that we're going to continue to improve them. And as we do, we're going to do it with the entrepreneurial spirit of Howard Hughes. We'll do it with the passion and integrity that Jim Rouse had in building community. And we'll do it with a sustainability focus that George Mitchell embedded in our company.
I am proud of where we live. I'm proud of our employees and what they've done. And every day I walk outside and I look at that and say, we did that. We built that.